Hi Homeworthy, I'm Lexie. Welcome to my home in Dallas, Texas. I can't wait to show you around.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hi, I'm Lexie Townsend. I'm the founder of Happy Hour Social Club and a content creator, and welcome to my home in Dallas, Texas. We purchased this home about 3.5 years ago, and it was right after my husband and I got engaged. We were so excited to kind of take the next step, move in together, and find a home that would be the perfect fit for us. Initially, we were really drawn to this house because one, it has a pool, and I am originally from Florida, so that was immediately something that I was really excited about. And I saw a lot of potential in this home. We didn't love a lot of the details. We didn't love how it was necessarily styled before, but I definitely had a vision for improvement. So we ended up choosing this one, and it's been the best decision. We've definitely done a lot of renovations. We've done pretty much every single renovation ourselves. My husband is very handy, thank goodness. So he has really transformed this house in an incredible way. We've painted every wall ourselves. We replaced the floors. We did have someone install the floors, but my husband did everything else. And we've had so much fun really making this feel like our own. Welcome to my living room. This is probably one of my favorite spaces, probably one of the ones we spend the most time in. All of the main pieces are pretty neutral. I wanted it to be very neutral, something that I could add to over time, pieces that I could take to a future home. So a white couch, it's dangerous with a dog, but simple, we love it. And then same, the rest of the furniture, the rug, everything is pretty simple. But in here, I do have some, I guess I would call investment pieces. One of my favorite is this coffee table. This is from Oyster Creek, and this was actually gifted to me by my parents. This is something that I had my eyes on for such a long time and ended up being a Christmas gift that they surprised us with. But this is one of my favorite pieces in the space. I wanted something that would really fill up the room, be a statement, and I just have been loving burl wood. And then on here, I have just some florals that I put together. You'll see throughout the whole house, I love to do floral arrangements all the time. So I made this one for today with just some spring colors. Some other little things. I love this little boot. I also try to incorporate just little aspects of Texas since we're here in Dallas. So this just holds our little matches. And then I have a little candle here as well that I always like to have lit. And then I am a huge, huge fan of Mahjong. I am playing Mahjong on a weekly basis with my friends, with my family, even with my husband sometimes. So these tiles are from the Mahjong line, and they are so stunning. I'm definitely hoping to add to my collection over time, but I absolutely love these and pull them out to play most of the time, so they're just here to look pretty right now, but normally they're spread out on the table for us to play with. And then just some other little coffee table books here. I also have these family cards. This is from the brand Friend of Mine, and these are little conversation cards, which I love. Something if I have family over, or if you just kind of want to break the ice, they're really fun to pull out and have more meaningful conversation. Okay, and then coming over here, this is actually the first piece that I purchased for this house, and I still really love it. It's funny because when I first started decorating the house, I had a completely different vision. I thought I was going to want to do like more black accents and different things. So the bottom of this has a black accent, but I'm really glad that it's mainly neutral because it's lived through all the times that my style tends to change. But I love the texture on it. And then I just have a little coffee table book displayed here. Always love to have some sort of artwork on the TV just to add some additional color into the space. And then over here, this piece of art is actually something that I painted myself. Throughout the house, I've made a lot of different pieces. Definitely something that I just kind of fell into. I really started with this piece. I think I watched a couple YouTube videos to figure out a technique to actually do this, but I get so many questions on it actually, and I really love how it just adds, again, color to the space and some additional texture as well. And then over here, I mentioned that I do content creation. So in my content, this is always where I am sharing my daily outfits. just sharing some like behind the scenes of my life. So this is right here in the living room, and something that I'm utilizing on a daily basis. Easy to check my outfit on the way out the door. And then just a little floor lamp. Lately, I have been trying to add a lot more light into each of our rooms. I really love most of the time not having any of the overhead lights on and just having different lamps and sconces and lights like that on so that it feels really cozy in here. So this is a newer addition just to add some more light into the living room. And then again, everything is pretty neutral, but I did add in these pillows recently, and this felt very bold for me. I'm definitely leaning into green a lot in the house. I keep on joking that I'm in my green era, as you can see from what I'm wearing today too. But I wanted to kind of do something a little more fun, go out of my comfort zone. And so that's what these pillows are. And they've definitely grown on me. I really love them. But like I said, I like to just change out the pillowcases all the time to kind of fit my mood, fit the season. So we'll see how long these ones last. I'll probably change them pretty soon. And next, I would love to show you my dining room. Yeah, my personal style, I feel like changes and evolves, but I would say it's very simple, pretty minimal, but also has a coastal influence because I am from Florida. So when I'm picking pieces, especially the larger pieces in my home, I love for them to be neutral, to have different textures. And then I like to bring in the color on the pillows or with the art or with florals so that as I change my mind and as my style does evolve, I can easily update the space to feel really fresh without having to get any of the new investment pieces. So you'll see everything is very neutral, but I am able to add in little pops of color here and there when I'm feeling like it. I would say I've had a very unique career path. Going back to college, I double majored in engineering and dance performance, which is kind of an interesting combination of majors. And then right after college, I initially got an engineering job. I was working in tech and did that for about a year and a half. And then from there, I transitioned into more of a product marketing role, so kind of leaning more into my creative side. And around then, I was starting to do content creation. So I worked at that next company in the fashion industry in that product marketing role for a little over 2 years. And then throughout that, I was sharing content on social media, but also building what I now run, which is Happy Hour Social Club, which is a social club to connect women in their 20s or so. We're in 6, 7 cities now and launching in many other cities soon. And we do monthly events to connect women, which is really fun. And about 2 months ago, I took that and content creation full time. Okay, now we are in the dining room and we have Molly, our golden retriever, joining us. She has been wanting to say hi all morning. We love her so much. Say hi, Moss. I love this space. Again, this is one of the most popular spaces in our house. You can see it connects just from the living room straight into here. So it's really easy to host and have guests go in and out of all of the rooms, and it's right next to the kitchen as well. But this is the first little area that we have here in the dining room. This is actually a newer addition, something I recently put together, but so many details here that I love. I recently started collecting matchbooks. I've always loved matchbooks, throw them in my purse every time, but realized that I never had anything to do with them. They ended up in the junk drawer. So I've started to actually collect them in this beautiful bowl here, and I'm really excited to watch this grow over time. I'm gonna be a lot more intentional about actually grabbing matchbooks and saving them now. And then this piece of art is one of my absolute favorite pieces that we have in the whole house. This is by Alex Chorba, and I love it so much because it brings in that Texas feel, but it's also a beautiful pastel piece, so it goes really well with the home. It still feels kind of girly. It doesn't feel super masculine, but I know it's something that even if we move away from Texas, this is something that will come with us and be kind of a memento to remind us of Texas. So it's something that I think we'll have in our homes for a very long time, and I absolutely love it. And then just a little lamp here, and then walking over here into the actual dining table. I love to do a tablescape. Today I did a pretty neutral one, just with some different textures. I really love these acrylic napkin holders. I think they're really beautiful and just add a pretty touch. And then one of my favorite things to collect is glassware. You'll see that I have tons of glassware throughout the house, lots tucked away in cabinets as well. But these are Estelle glasses. I have these in many different colors, but these are extra special because I actually got these engraved with the logo for the social club that I run. And I love doing personal touches, having branding on really as much as possible, but I've never seen anyone engrave these Estelle glasses. So this was a fun touch, and this is actually the gift that I'm giving everyone on our team when they've worked with Happy Hours for a year. And so these are kind of the 1-year gifts, and I'm really excited to make that a tradition with our team. And then I also, like I said earlier, love to do floral arrangements. This is a new endeavor that I tried recently to make this orchid arrangement, and I'm really happy with how it came together. I think it's so fun for spring, and I love how it just really makes a statement on the table. You really don't need to have much more when you have this here on the table. So just a couple orchids, a maidenhair fern, and then some flowers, and added some moss on top, and it was ready to go. And then for the light fixture, just again wanted something really simple. So picked out this gold one with these beautiful lampshades. And again, normally we'll just have this fixture on, and it feels really, really nice and cozy in here when that is on. And then over here, I love cocktails, so I've actually mixed up some cocktails for us today that I'll show in a minute, but this is a little bar cart. It just has some of our favorite things on it. My husband is from Kentucky, and he loves bourbon, so we always have bourbon ready to go. These glasses are something I gifted him a couple years ago. He loves to duck hunt. That's something that's really important to him, so any touch that I can add for him around the house, I know he really appreciates. I get to make most of the decisions about the decor, but I like to throw in some different things that he really enjoys as well. And then this moment here is something that I actually saw another creator do, and I immediately fell in love with it. I think my mom actually sent it to me and was like, this is something that would look so beautiful in your house. And so it kind of gives this 3D arrangement art piece effect. So these are just attached to the wall, and you can add florals into it, and they look like little pieces of art, which I love. Then over here, just another little area to add some more florals, of course, and just some other little details. This is a bottle of champagne from our wedding day. This was our wedding crest that we had, and so this is definitely something that's really special. We still haven't popped it, so I don't know if we'll ever open this one, but it's fun to have out and just remember that day. So love that little detail. And then here we have our fireplace. This is just another area, especially when it gets colder, that we love to sit by, maybe play some mahjong. I'll pull a table over here with some friends to play, but kept the decor pretty minimal here. I love this piece from Gray Malin. I think it's so beautiful. This was actually a gift from my best friend growing up and her parents for graduation, and I absolutely love it. I believe this is in Italy, and I have been here as well with my family, so I like to think back on that trip as well. And then lastly over here, here's kind of where I keep most of my glassware. Like I said, I love to collect glassware, and so here is kind of my collection that I like to have on display. I have lots of the Estelle glasses. I love this rose color that they do. And then I also just love finding different unique styles of glassware to have and to utilize when I have guests over. I'm trying to think of what my favorite is. I love these champagne kind of coupe glasses that are more angular. I think they're so beautiful. This is definitely something that I'll continue to grow over time. I'm always on the lookout for what the next item I want to add to the collection is. So now let's head into the kitchen area. Welcome to our kitchen. I absolutely love to have cocktails ready for my guests, always. I feel like this is definitely something that I'm known for. My guests know that when they come over, there's going to be a setup on this island, and it's going to be some sort of cocktail or multiple cocktails. So today I mixed up two of my favorites. I absolutely love an Aperol Spritz. I think it's perfect for spring, summer. Really, I'll drink them year round. And then what I would say is more of my signature is this spicy, skinny margarita. It is so delicious. I love to use Socorro tequila in it, and it is just So refreshing. Tahini on the rim, of course. But I love to have this like gold, I don't even know what you would call this, ice chest out. It definitely has a lot of scratches on it. You can tell that it has been well used, but this was a gift, a wedding gift from one of our really close family friends, and this is a staple. It is always out here when we have guests over. But yeah, love to do just a pretty display, have a tray out, some more florals of course, and really just make a moment when my guests walk in. But other updates I guess we've made to the kitchen, we did build this island, or I say we built, my husband built it. In here, the kitchen used to be much more closed off. So it was at bar height, there were black countertops, and it just felt really claustrophobic and actually continued on over here. So we really wanted to open it up. My husband demoed it all, built this beautiful countertop, and I wanted it to have this waterfall detail here. That was something that was important to me. So we added in that detail, and I just love how this came together. And then the rest of the kitchen is pretty simple. I am not the biggest cook. I try to make dinner a couple nights a week, but I'm definitely not a chef. I'm trying to learn. But we just have some of our favorite glassware. We have some cool glasses here that were handed down to us by my great aunt actually, that are all glasses from each year of the Kentucky Derby, which again, my husband's from Kentucky, so that's a fun detail for him. But yeah, I try to cook every now and then, but I do love this space and love just how bright and white and crisp it is in here. And then just kind of a fun little detail. We don't keep much on the fridge, but we have a couple of things here. I think this is just kind of funny. We love our dog. You met Molly earlier. But this is just like her little report card when we were out of town. And then we have a little magnet from where we went on our honeymoon, which was Tahiti, and then a little photo booth photo. My family actually collects magnets everywhere that we travel. And so my husband and I wanted to get one from our honeymoon, but it might be something that we kind of pick up as we continue to travel. All right, well now let's go into the guest bedroom. Entertaining is definitely really important to my husband and I. I absolutely love to host, which is kind of what led me to creating this social club. I get to host events all the time, but it's also really important for us to do personally in our own home. We have people over here every weekend, whether it's something casual or a more elaborate party. But that was definitely something that was really important to us when we were selecting our home. We wanted to be right in Dallas proper, close to everything, and that meant we were going to be in a very small home. This house is about 1,400 square feet, so it's very small, but it lends itself really well to entertaining. We have a great sized living room, a great sized dining room, kitchen area, and that's really the heart of the home and where everyone is when they come over. And so we loved those aspects of the house as well and love to have people here all the time. Welcome to our guest bedroom. We love to have friends and family stay here, so I wanted to make it cozy, but again, pretty minimal, pretty simple. I feel like it just feels like a breath of fresh air in here. It's so light and airy, and I just love it. We have some side tables, again, bringing in just some additional texture, and I love using these kind of bud vases to add in additional florals. And then I have pillows and matching curtains from Pepper Home. I loved this green pattern. And then I made these art pieces as well for this room, so definitely tied in the green color, but added in a couple other little accent colors as well. So again, I love to kind of add little touches and do some artwork whenever I can for our spaces. And then coming over here, this is just our little dresser area. I actually use this room pretty much as my closet. We kind of joke that this is my bedroom because when we don't have guests, I'm normally in here styling outfits, getting organized, different things like that. So this is where I store most of my clothes. I love these lamps. I actually found these at Target, which is crazy. I think they look really elevated and absolutely love them. And then we have a little mirror here. This piece of art is from Steven Wilson and what my husband actually got me for our first anniversary. I think the first anniversary you get paper, and so this was kind of his interpretation of paper, and I love it. One day I would love to have a couple of these pieces to do a little collage on a wall somewhere, but absolutely love those. Love to have some sort of scent or candle in the space. And then when I have guests come over, I don't know what this is officially called. I started calling it a pillow present, and I thought that I got that from one of my friends, but maybe I saw it online somewhere, I'm not sure. But I love to have just something special waiting for my guests when they come. So a little basket with their towels for their time here, and then I love to throw in just some of my favorite products, maybe a bottle of wine, anything beautiful that just makes it feel more elevated, more cozy for when they arrive, and gives them some fun things to go home with. So I have some skincare products here, some lotions, and just some beautiful products that they can take as a little gift. And then I mentioned the pillows match our curtains. I love these curtains. This room definitely has a nice view of the pool, kind of makes you feel like you are, you know, somewhere different. It doesn't feel like you're right in the middle of the city in Dallas, which I love. But again, this pattern is something that I really love. All right, and then lastly, just on this wall, we have some more prints. I love all of this artwork from Italy. I feel like it makes you feel like, again, you're not in Dallas, you're maybe somewhere a little more coastal, a little more beautiful. So I love having these pieces on the wall as well. And now let's go take a peek into the guest bathroom. I really love so many different things about our home. I think my favorite parts are, one, that it does lend itself so well for entertaining. Like I said, we absolutely love to host, but I also really love that it just feels like us. There's so many details and little pieces that we have around the house that are really unique to us, and it truly just feels like a space that we've been able to create and make into something that's a reflection of us. I think what makes a home come alive the most is filling it with people that you love. Like I said, hosting is so special to us, and there's really nothing like having a home filled with your friends, your family, people staying for the weekend. That is definitely what brings me the most joy, and really when I feel like this space comes alive. And I just love so many details about hosting. I love curating the cocktails that I'm going to have for my guests, the food, the whole experience for them that hopefully you'll see throughout the house. And so I think that's when our house is most alive, is when it's really filled with a lot of people. Welcome to our guest bathroom. This is a very, very small bathroom, but I love that we added this fun wallpaper. This is actually something that my husband did himself. I don't know if I would recommend hanging your own wallpaper. It was quite the process, but I love how it turned out. I think it's a fun pop of color. As you've seen, most of the house is very neutral. We have white walls in the rest of the house, so this just adds a fun pop of color, and I just fell in love with this paper and am really happy with how it turned out. But yeah, again, really small space, looks out into the backyard. But I found just a pretty acrylic and gold mirror to add into here. And then the shower is quite small, but really all that we need. Both our bathrooms in this house are pretty small. We definitely prioritize the hosting space, the living spaces over the bathrooms, but it works for us, and I think our guests are pretty happy with it. And then here we just have these bamboo shades. I really wanted to maximize the light as much as possible throughout our entire house. So I love that you can just push these away, but if someone comes in here, they can easily get some more privacy in the bathroom. Welcome to our backyard. This is one of our favorite spaces. We're always entertaining out here. I feel like I get a little bit of a taste of home in Florida, having the pool, having water out here. Especially during the summer, we love to have friends over. We have even a floating mahjong table, so we'll play mahjong in the pool and hang out on the pool floats. But I love to lounge out here, get a tan, so we have some lounge chairs, a nice little setup out here. And then again, I always like to have some sort of detail, some sort of cocktail to offer my guests. So out here, I just have a little bottle of wine. This is actually a non-alcoholic champagne, but it's really delicious from Libby. I love it. And then I have some kind of plasticky wine glasses that I like to have out here by the pool. This is just our monogram. My husband's name is Alex, so Alex and Lexie Townsend, but I realized recently that this looks like Atlanta, but it's just our little monogram. So we have that, or we have frosted cups with a monogram or different sayings on them that we'll have our guests use in the pool. but always love to have something out here for our guests. The landscaping around our whole house, my husband also did himself. He spent a lot of time on all the flowers. We have hydrangeas in the front, which are my favorite part of really our whole house. I think it's so fun to get to go pick fresh hydrangeas and bring them inside for floral arrangement. So I love our landscaping and all of the details that he put into that. All right, and then lastly, we of course have the pool. I love to have different pool floats out here. Like I said, we have a floating mahjong table that makes an appearance sometimes during the summer, but it's so nice to be able to jump in, especially in the Texas heat. We have days that are well over 100 degrees, so it's really nice to have a pool out here, have friends over, and just have a backyard barbecue kind of evening throughout the summer. Home to me means love, it means comfort, it's just a safe space to come back to no matter what's going on in the world. This is definitely my favorite place to be with my dog Molly, with my husband, and then with all of our friends and family that we love to fill it with. Thank you, Homeworthy, for stopping by our home in Dallas. I have a couple more events to plan, but I'll see you later.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.